Am I the asshole for being whipped for my wife enough to get a trip replaced? I, 28 male, have 5 kids with my wife, 32 female. Please don't come after us with how many kids we have. I work roughly 50 hours a week, 10-hour days MF, and my wife is a SOM. She does the majority of everything, cleaning, cooking, everything minus the shopping which my wife orders online and I pick up at the store. So here's the am I the asshole scenario. My work schedules a work bonding fishing trip from Friday night to Sunday over the summer. I said no way I'm going, for the following reasons, despite my wife telling me to go and have fun. First of all, every Saturday I schedule my wife for some type of treat-yourself appointment and send her on a mini shopping spree, kiddo-free morning to do what she wants with one rule: no kid shopping. It's about her and her only. Second, I'm not leaving my wife for 2 nights and a day for fishing and getting drunk. If I want to go fishing, I'll take the 5-year-old twins with me to give my wife less to juggle and create some memories. Third, the ladies that work at the office feel excluded because they don't like the fishing trip because they feel excluded. Fourth, they call it a stag weekend, despite no one getting married. And I don't trust that phrasing, especially since they are going fishing near a very popular college-age vacation spot known for bars and wasted weekend shenanigans. So my coworkers have been calling me whipped since I said no, and saying it'll give them a chance to know me better since I don't go out with them on Wednesdays when they go to the bar and have always missed the trip. All my coworkers all have wives, kids or significant others, so I recommended we do a family campout during the planning meeting. Would cost the same amount. And do those blow-up things on the lake. Boating if you have one, skis exed. And do a cookout kind of deal with family activities with my work renting small cabins for families to use. My regional manager who was at the meeting loved it even more than the fishing trip, gave me a yearly bonus to plan this family event every year instead of my coworker who gets one to plan the fishing trip. Now my coworkers are calling me whipped and more bullshit names and are mad because their wives are happy about my idea. Their wives have even emailed me about a mom Saturday morning idea like my wife has and I added it into the plan. And are mad their stag weekend is cancelled and quote, spend a work-paid trip babysitting. So Reddit, am I the asshole for getting a work trip cancelled and replaced with a family-friendly event? Edit for clarity. I also included the child-free coworkers of mine in the planning and said if they need a break or are getting overwhelmed they are more than welcome to borrow my boat for relaxing without kids or for more extreme water sports. It's not babysitting if it's your own children. You're being considerate to your wife and it sounds like you're a good husband. You're not the asshole. Not the asshole you came up with an idea that would benefit everyone and not leave anyone left out. I find it weird that a workplace would even have such an exclusive fishing trip to begin with. I'd bet the women have been trying to get the trip changed for years but no one would listen to them. It definitely sounds like they felt left out. If the fishing trip is that important to them, they can still go and pay for it themselves. Literally nothing is stopping them from doing so. The fact that they see having to spend a weekend with their kids as babysitting tells me all I need to know about them. You, sir, are one in a million. Congratulations for truly loving your wife and respecting your relationship enough to be there for her and your children. Who cares if they call you whipped? You know you're a good man. You know your wife loves you and you love her. It sounds like you have your priorities straight. So hold your head up and just laugh at him when they tell you that you were whipped. Not the asshole, and basically excluding your female coworkers can really bite your company in the ass. Not the asshole. Your male coworkers sound toxic. Not the asshole. You coworkers sound like they need an excuse to get away from their families, which everyone needs at some point, and they should be doing that on their own time. If this is a work event, it should include everyone who works there. Having work pay for a stag weekend is gross. Your suggestion is much more inclusive and will essentially be a much better bonding experience for your colleagues. If they're giving you a hard time because you respect that fact that your wife needs a break from being with 5 kids all day every day, then I pity their wives and kids. Ultimately, your family should come first, and it sounds like you found a good solution for balancing work and home life. The other guys can figure out how to get drunk and ogle college girls in their own time. Am I the asshole for not letting the father of my daughter in her life? I'm 23 female, mother of a beautiful of an 8-year-old girl. If you want to do the math, I was 16 when I had her. When I told my ex, let's call him Jake, that I was pregnant, he dumped me and told me that he doesn't want to be part of the baby's life. I told him that he made his choice and don't come back when you want to play daddy. I raised her as a single teen mom. Sure, it was hard, but she was worth it. Recently I got engaged and my fiancé has been wonderful with my daughter. He goes to football games to watch her cheer, any plays or concerts. He's in front row with the biggest smile. My fiancé asked me to adopt her as his own. I don't think I said yes fast enough and we prepare to ask my daughter to be adopted by him. Jake is back in town and asked me to see my daughter. He went on how he made a mistake by leaving and now his chance to be a dad is nothing because he's infertile after an accident. I told Jake that he made his bed and he should sleep in it. He contacted my family and friends to get in touch with my daughter. Now my family telling that he should see her and how people changed. I told them off and they said that they won't be at my daughter's birthday party unless Jake can see her. Am I the asshole? Edit. Since people asked. He was 17 years old. I was 16. He never signed the birth certificate and when I was 5 months pregnant, I gave up looking for him. He's infertile after an accident. This is the only reason he's here. No accident means he'd still have no interest in your daughter. Not the asshole. Not the asshole ask for 8 years of child support. Not the asshole. She has the right to know her biological father but I understand you're trying to protect her. He can't just pop in and out of her life and break her heart so the rules need to be stated clear. You should discuss with your husband and daughter about possibly allowing him to visit. People can change but it seems that he's desperate since this is his only chance at having a kid now. See what your daughter wants. In the end, she knows who her real father is, your husband. Not the asshole. Remember that one time I got you pregnant? When you were 16 and you had to raise her 8 years all by yourself. Because I was too chicken to be there and said this is your problem, not mine. I am out. Well I want to reverse that. And be there again. LMAO. Okay, now let's be realistic. Time to go to a lawyer and see what the best options are. Because technically he is her dad. Get things straightened out, because if you don't do this, this could get messy. Also your daughter has a right to know his real dad. But I don't think a birthday party is the best moment. That is just asking for drama probably. He's not her father. He's a sperm donor. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. He got his warning and it is absolutely because he's infertile that he's back. File for sole custody. Cuz if you don't he definitely will go the legal route to get partial or even 50-50 custody of her. But also be understanding and accepting of the idea that if when she is 18, she seeks him out. Cuz by then she'll know your fiancé is not her bio dad if she doesn't know now. And if that does happen you have to be ready to explain to her why you kept her away from Jake. Cuz that is how he will paint it and others as well. Lastly, I wish you, your fiancé, and your daughter the best of luck in life. I also hope you find better and less shitty family members one day. Good luck op. Am I the asshole for refusing to work from home, so now people can no longer bring their dogs to the office? Hey all. Hope I'm formatting this right. Thanks for the responses so far. I appreciate the judgments and they're giving me a lot to think about. Just as a note, due to circumstances I'd prefer to not get into too much. I cannot just go find a new job or a new place to live. These are things that are, for me, out of my control for the time being. Things will hopefully change in a few years. Hi. I'm a 32 female. Here it goes. Everyone working in the office, dogs were never even an option. Pandemic, shut down, working from home. People trickle back in, and they are allowed to bring their dogs to ease the transition. My group stays back for another year. Everyone's finally called back to the office. I'm allergic to dogs, and the smell gives me migraines. Huge bummer, because I do like dogs, but it explains why in one foster home I was always feeling sick. Boss says we'll figure something out. People with their own offices are not willing to give them up. Boss tells me that maybe it's best if I work from home. I live in a tiny studio that barely fits my bed, and I have to sit on it or on my floor to have a workspace. I have one window. It's suffocating and I was starting to go crazy living there during the pandemic in WFH. So, I say that if I can negotiate a raise that will be enough to help me to move to a larger place, I will consider WFH. Boss takes that to their boss, comes back and says unfortunately it's not in the budget. I say I'm not going back to WFH. Boss insists it couldn't be as bad as I'm saying and that everyone had to make adjustments. Mind you, boss and most of my other coworkers live in houses that they own. Most have huge backyards, entire rooms to dedicate as an office, etc. So of course they don't think it's a big deal. I stand firm, and remind them that someone can give me an office, but no one would. So unfortunately, everyone has to stop bringing the dogs to the office. Coworkers and other people in the building are saying I'm selfish for not just taking the deal and going back to WFH because they'd all love to be allowed to. When I've told people about the tiny apartment and how I can't afford more, they say things like, just move back in with your parents. Just stop buying Starbucks, and start doing Uber Eats after work, and move to X suburb, even as though I'm choosing to be in this position just to spite them. Others have been like, why can't you just take a Claritin, and tell me making up the smell causing migraines. Each of them has a suggestion about how I should go out of my way to make all these changes, some of which I can't even do, just because people want to bring their dogs to an office. Am I really the asshole for this? Hey all, hope I'm formatting this right. Thanks for the responses so far. I appreciate the judgments and they're giving me a lot to think about. Just as a note, due to circumstances I'd prefer to not get into too much, I cannot just go find a new job or a new place to live. These are things that are, for me, out of my control for the time being. Things will hopefully change in a few years. Not the asshole. But I'd start looking for a better job. People are assholes in an office and they won't get over this. Your environment there is only going to get worse. Not the asshole. If they want to be with their dogs so much, one of them should make the sacrifice of giving up their office or they should be given the option to work from home. Not the asshole. Dogs weren't permitted pre-pandemic, they shouldn't be permitted now. Yeah, it sucks leaving the fur babies at home, but it is what it is. I may be out of line with my thinking, but this could technically be considered discrimination, because of a known medical condition. Maybe the threat of an EEOC complaint would straighten your boss out? Not the asshole. And why is the boss telling people about your medical condition? If they need an explanation as to why no more dogs, a coworker is allergic, will suffice rather than, no more office dogs is allergic. While you are not the asshole, as a person who has 3 dogs and would love the opportunity to bring them to work, just be prepared that being not the asshole is not the same thing as. Everyone decides Op is not the asshole and becomes immediately nice to Op. People are gonna be mad and gonna resent you. And even if everyone is totally on their best behavior and doesn't do anything actionable to you, hostility is hostility. And that's going to be a suck work environment. You might want to think about moving on. 1000% not the asshole. This is your health. I love dogs too, but I would not bring mine to a place that would cause someone else discomfort. I occasionally bring my dogs to work. However, I always let coworkers know that they are coming and ask if it is okay. When we hire new staff, I ask them how they feel about dogs in the workplace. If it made one single person uncomfortable, I would not being the dogs. Fortunately, we are all dog obsessed, so it's all good. It is not as easy as take a Claritin. I hate when people say that. I have a severe food allergy. Can't even be in the same room with it. Coworkers are totally cool with just not bringing that food to work. Some will go out to their cars to eat it then wash their hands when they come back in. That's how kind, caring human beings behave. AITA For snapping at my husband after he told me to go make dinner at 2 in the morning? So, my husband, 27, has been coming home late recently. I'm talking 2-3 a.m. kind of late. I don't know what he's doing out that late at night, but he says his evening shift tend to extend and he works extra hours. Anyways, I'm a new mother. I'm constantly exhausted and I get only few hours to sleep. Normally when he's out so late I have my dinner and not put anything aside for him because he obviously eats at work like he said. On Thursday I get woken up by him shaking me at 2:45 in the morning. I ask him what he wants and he tells me he's hungry and wants to eat. I tell him that I didn't have dinner put aside for him thinking he'd already eaten at work. He loses it on me and asks, "Are you fucking crazy? Ate at work?" He then demands I go make him dinner. Dinner.at.2.in. The morning. I snap at him and yell at him asking what dinner at 2 in the morning. He then throws at me that he was working all day then asks what I was doing all day. The baby gets waken up which makes me madder. I start arguing with my husband and he storms out of the room saying I should make it up to him after I decided to not save dinner for him then goes on comments on how much I eat and how much weight I'd put up lately. I refuse to make dinner and he ends up going to sleep without eating anything. He goes into radio silent state after telling me he works hard for this family compared to me and that the least I could do is have dinner ready for him whatever the time is. Am I the asshole for not getting up to make him dinner at 2 and snapping at him after he insisted? Not the asshole. What the fuck? You don't know what he's actually doing, and he clearly doesn't know what's involved in being the parent at home with a newborn. And he mentions your weight? Arg. Raging on your behalf. Why are you with this guy? Not the asshole. This is an abuse situation and you need to look at your life and decide if this is what you want. Why can't he make his own food like a grown adult? Not the asshole. He's abusing you. He's coming home in the middle of the night. Has he been making more money to show for it? Does he seem intoxicated when he comes home? Does he shower right away? He's clearly not helping with the baby or the house. He's verbally and emotionally abusing you. Now he's messing with your sleep and attacking your appearance. Is he also financially abusing you? Do you have access to his income? You need to get a plan to leave this marriage ASAP. He's escalating with you and you are not safe. Not the asshole. Suspicious about these extra hours. Also very angry that he is treating you like this when he's a grown-ass man and can make his own food. Not the asshole. Who wakes someone up at 2 a.m. to cook? Especially a new mom? I'm in awe of the audacity here. This is not normal or healthy behavior. Location flag, location flag, location flag, location flag, location flag.